President, millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
Hey everybody, this is Troy over at Uncomfortable Truths. Thanks for checking me out. So today we have to talk about what's going on with the so-called bishop who decided that she was going to attack Donald Trump in the middle of one of her sermons. Now, I don't want to bash on anybody's religion too much, but this is one of those people who basically goes out and they cherry pick little pieces out of the Bible in order to come up with a quote to further their own political agenda, and that's what this lady was doing. And to be honest, you know that she was doing this because after her sermon, she's been going around all of the media outlets like The View, CNN, all of the fake news in order to go and push her agenda. And she's going to do that right now here on The View.
Oh, he didn't like that. Trump did not get the message, and now he's demanding an apology. So here to respond, please welcome Bishop Marion Edgar Budde. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, before we keep going, we need to talk about how stupid Joy Behar is. Because Joy Behar, frankly, is an idiot. And we know that she's an idiot because she talks every day, but she doesn't actually know what she's talking about almost ever. So when it comes to this issue, she's laughing about Trump listening to a sermon that he likely didn't agree with, and he didn't agree with it, which we'll get to here in a minute. But she's kind of missing the whole point, is that Americans actually voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump won the presidency, and Republicans have complete control of government, while she's over there smirking like she won. Dude, we are literally in the middle of starting the mass deportation process as we speak. Trump just broke records on deportations the second day in office. So if she wants to go around and pretend that this lady bishop begging for mercy from Trump is somehow a victory for the left, then she's completely lost her mind.
And then I also realized that that unity requires a certain degree of mercy and compassion and understanding. And so knowing that a lot of people, as I said, in our country right now are really scared, I wanted to take the opportunity in the context of that of service for unity to say we need to treat everyone with dignity. And we need to be merciful. And I was trying to counter the narrative that is so divisive and polarizing, and in which real people are being harmed.
All right, Lady Bishop here doesn't understand mercy or the purpose of the state, because mercy is the suspension of justice, and the state can't go around suspending justice, because to do so would be to completely disregard our form of government, the people who voted in representatives who decided that we were going to pass specific laws to enforce policies that we want to see happen. And for the state to decide that they are not going to actually fulfill those obligations, they're not going to enforce the laws that our republic has demanded, is for them to ignore the will of our actual citizens in favor of illegal immigrants. That is what she is out advocating for, quite loudly and quite proudly. You can't have a system of government that doesn't actually merit out justice, because that undermines everything that we believe in, and it undermines our society as a whole. So she's completely disregarding actual citizens and our actual form of government in favor of illegal immigrants. And she goes on to do this with CNN as well.
I was speaking to the president because I felt that he has this moment now where he feels charged and empowered to do what he feels called to do. And I wanted to say, you know, there is room for mercy. There's room for a broader compassion. We don't need to portray with a broad cloth in the harshest of terms some of the most vulnerable people in our society.
So again, Lady Bishop is wrong here, because Donald Trump is not in office to merit out mercy. Donald Trump ran on a platform of promising to deport illegal immigrants and do mass deportations. It was one of the primary campaign promises that he made, and he's been running on it for years. The American people have decided they've had enough of the illegal immigration. They want to do mass deportations, and they want the illegal immigrants out of the country. Even if Donald Trump feels like he should be merciful to some of these people, that is not what the American people wanted. He is there to represent the voters that put him into office, and we have said that, yes, we want these people gone 100%, and the people are supporting this idea that Donald Trump needs to do that. And Donald Trump has followed through on those promises and has started deporting these illegal immigrants, which is exactly what needs to happen. Now, maybe she doesn't like that, and maybe her idea of Christianity is that we need to be soft on crime and we need to be soft on illegal immigration. Well, whatever happened to this idea of separation between church and state? Because just because that is how she personally views Christianity, she happens to go along with this hippie Jesus mentality that some Christians seem to follow, that doesn't actually mean that all Christians even agree with that. And in fact, I would argue that most people that actually follow Christianity seriously are going to reject the Episcopalian view that we have to accept crime like illegal immigration, or believe that every single lifestyle that anybody can dream up is equally valid and equally appropriate under Christianity. Lots of Christians aren't going to agree with that. And when you bring your religion into politics and try to use that as a cudgel to shame the American people and to shame America's president, well, you're really asking for problems, because that is something that you wouldn't accept from any other person talking to any other president. And it was unacceptable when you did so. And Trump's going to call her out on it.
So Trump wants an apology, and he made that clear. He said the so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal immigrants that came into our country and killed people. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. It's a giant crime wave that is taking part in the USA. Apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was very boring and uninspiring. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology.
All right. Well, that's just Trump being Trump and telling it like it is. And he is 100% right that that bishop should absolutely be apologizing to the American people, because these illegal immigrants have completely trampled on our laws, and they've shown nothing but disrespect and contempt for our form of government and our society as a whole when they sneak into our country, and then they have the nerve to say, well, we're not criminals. Well, actually you are, because you're here illegally. You broke laws to come into our country. So you are absolutely criminals, and they won't even admit that they've done something wrong before asking for mercy. And I want to leave you with this, is that Adam Smith said that mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. And he was absolutely correct. It's unacceptable to expect the American people to compete with illegal immigrants for jobs. It's unacceptable to expect American tax dollars to go to taking care of illegal immigrants, people that we did not invite here and don't want here to begin with. That is not okay. And Americans are done listening to all the woke nonsense surrounding this, and they've come to the conclusion that it's time that we did something about that. It's at the point where even CNN admits that Americans are done with illegal immigration.
Sometimes my next question depends on how the question is asked, but who do people trust? Who do voters trust more on this issue?
Yeah, no matter how you phrase it, you will see that more voters today trust former President Trump over President Biden, but the margins can change depending on how it is. So this is a better job on border security and immigration, which tends to be one of former President Trump's best questions. But I think the key thing here, Kate, to look at is the timeline and look at the trend line here. Because back in June of 2020, Biden was actually trusted more on the question of border security and immigration by a single point. Look at where we are in May of 2024. My goodness gracious. Look at this huge jump that Donald Trump has gotten. He is now ahead on this issue by 27 percentage points. So it's not just that immigration is more at the top of voters' minds than it was 4 years ago. It's that who they trust on the issue has changed tremendously. I look at a lot of questions. I dig into the crosstabs a lot. The fact that you see a 30-point shift, I'm used to seeing 10, 15, maybe 20-point shifts, but basically a 30-point shift, 28 points if you want to be exact, that is very, very different from a lot of other polling questions.
So there you have it, everybody. Despite the radical left's outrage and the pushback from these supposed Christians against criminal migrants, the American people are with Donald Trump on this, and there really isn't a question about that anymore. Americans want to see these illegal immigrants deported, and we want to make sure that we enforce our border laws, and that is a major reason as to why Donald Trump was just elected president. It was to do exactly this. So all the left can do is continue to whine and cry and mope around and pretend that something horrible is happening. But this is what needs to happen in order to protect our own country and in order to protect our own borders, which is exactly what Donald Trump is doing and is exactly what he should be doing. So everybody, that's what I have on this issue with this lady bishop going after Donald Trump. Do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. It helps the show out a lot. And tell me what you think. I'll talk to you soon, everybody. Take care.